Hey, Candice Bertolini with your makeup fix, here to show you how to create the perfect canvas, especially when you have imperfections going on in your skin, you're aging, and I'm showing you the simple ways to correct that so that you have the best flawless complexion that's for you. So for instance, here you see uneven skin tone. I have this annoying zit. Who gets a zit on their eyebrow? Apparently I do. So I popped that a couple days ago, which you're not supposed to. And now it's a scab and it's red, but in real life, people get these things on their face. So we have to color correct that. We have to block out that redness. And then if I come in close, you see some brown imperfections in my forehead from back in the summer, hyperpigmentation, sunspots, which have lightened up tremendously using a product that was made of straight Sanji mushroom, but that's another thing. And then we have a lot of redness, right? Some freckling and redness. Now when it comes to wrinkles and sagging and drooping, gotta love the 40s, right? 40 and up. All that is shadows, right? So the creases are shadows. And when you think of light, right? If you put brightness into it, it's going to protrude forward. If you have darkness, it means it's receding, kind of like a contour and highlighting. So contour and highlighting isn't just about, the contour highlight on the outer part of the foundation when you're all done with your makeup. The contour highlighting has to start before you even do your foundation or right after the foundation to cover those nooks and crannies and even out the skin tone. Does that even make any sense? Okay, so let's get started. I've already moisturized my face, and so I want to put on a layer of primer. So I'm going to be working with a pro product, a professional grade foundation, and it's wax-based, so I had to use a water-based primer. You never want to use a silicone primer when working with a wax foundation. If you were working with an oil-based foundation, then you can or a water-based foundation, then you can use a silicone primer. So let's think of the color wheel. So right here, we have a yellow-based corrector. We have a white, right, which is going to add highlighting and brightening. Then we have something right here that is a cross between a peach, right? A peach corrector is going to cancel out brown tones. This has a little bit more peach and yellow, so I feel like it's this and this mixed. So believe it or not, if you are trying to get the perfect canvas, you would need a 4-well compact palette because everyone has red, everyone has freckles, everyone has shadows, everyone needs to highlight. So in a perfect world, you would want 4 correctors for your face. 2 is better than none, but because you definitely have 2 types of imperfections in your skin, so this is better than nothing. So let's start with that. So let's start with the pimple, right? The most obvious there. So I'm going to scrape a little bit of the yellow one, which is right there. I'm going to scrape a little bit out of that and get a little bit of that on a concealer brush. I like working with a concealer brush to place the product so you're not over placing in the wrong areas. And then I like to blend it out with my finger or a sponge because there's nothing like body heat really melding that in. So let's go ahead and get some of that yellow. So right now we're just going to place it right there. And again, this is giving me the precise placement. If I was using my finger, it would probably have went in a bigger area, and I don't want that, right? So where else am I red? So we're red around the nose. Normally we're hormonal, right? I think everybody, especially this season, if you're in the winter, if you're blowing your nose a lot, you're dry, you're definitely red around the nose. We've got a little red blotches right there. So now, and then we're a little pink in here, right? A little pink on the inner part of the eye. So I'm just taking the residue and putting it there because when you're color correcting, you want to use a little bit because we still have to go in with foundation. We still have to use foundation. So again, less is more. And then we have a little like ruddiness down here. So you didn't even see me re-dip. It's basically just kind of, getting the residue into the blotchy areas. Okay, now let that sit. Let that kind of get warm and get into your face. Now we're going to go into the brown spots. So I told you, a peach corrector is a color that cancels out brown in your skin, blue, purple, all those unwanted tones. So I just scraped a little out, taking my concealer brush, getting a generous amount on there. And now I want to go in here and cover up the brown tones that are in the skin, right? So again, I'm placing it where I need it. Gosh, my brown spots, my melasma, used to be a lot worse months ago. And thank God, I used a product called Sotox. It's a lightener, brightener, tightener. And that took it away for me. I put that on morning and night. It's made of Sanji mushroom. I'm a big fan of natural ingredients, not chemical. I don't think you need chemical on your face. I'm a big believer that, using nature, like using good, things that are good for your body. Be careful what you're putting in your bloodstream. I mean, that's like a whole nother story. All right, so now I'm going to take a little bit more. We have some brown freckles and spots on the nose. Okay, and then a little bit in here. All right, so, I mean, if you do this the right way, you probably wouldn't even need foundation. All right, so now it's a little purpley, brown in there. So already you see that go away. See that go away? Isn't that awesome? So we're just kind of sticking that there. And then get the outer corners of the eyes. There we go. Okay, so now let's stop there, and you can use a buffer brush. You can use your finger. This one I want to tap on because I feel like there's a scab there, and if I take a brush, the yellow might come off. So listen, it's a zit, it's a scab. You're never going to change the bump. You can only change the color, right? So let's use my finger to really marry this. That's what I like to call it. Marry it into the skin. Save time by using two fingers and just kind of going like this, right? And notice how I'm not wiping. I'm not wiping the colors into each other. I'm just blotting it out by pressing it into the skin where I placed it, right? You want it to stay put. You want the body heat of your fingers to really just, I got a runny nose. See, it's like the winter. I hate the winter. All right, so now we're going to meld that in right here, like marry that in, and then kind of just give it, a nice little push into the skin. So already we have a nice camouflaged skin. So now let's talk about wrinkles and sagging. So now we want to take care of the shadows. So I'm going to go into that 0. Remember I told you light? You want to think of highlighting, right? You want to have the color, protrude out. So we're going to take some onto my wrist. I like to do this on my wrist because it warms up, but you could do it from the spatula. Get that little dot right there. All right, so see how we have a shadow right here? So I'm just going to come into the shadowed areas, right? Because that's what wrinkles are. They're just shadows. They're deep creases. So fill in your creases. Bring some light into those wrinkles. I mean, everyone asks, how do I look 10 years younger in my photos when I'm, in my 40s? That's how. Good skincare, obviously taking care of yourself, and placing the right products in the right places. Less is more, especially if you're aging, and using the right things. I don't believe in using cheap products. Some cheap products are good, but certain things I think you need to invest in. That's just, like I would never use cheap makeup on a client when I'm doing makeup, on a job or on a set or on a photo shoot or for a wedding. People don't pay me the big bucks to come in with cheap drugstore brand product. Okay, so now look, see how I'm kind of pushing this into the shadow? That's all you're doing. And move your wrinkles around, right? Bring some light. If you got those creasing, those lines above the upper lip, you got shadows around the mouth. But I mean, look at this. Look at my face coming alive. Okay. So already we color corrected. And then one last thing I want to show you, which is a little trick of mine. Another thing to bring is we want to bring attention, because we lose elasticity the older we get. So you want to bring attention to the smile line, like right here, right? You want to create the illusion of a lifted face, of a youthful, chiseled face. So I like to call this my Joker smile, right? So again, you're just placing pro product in the right places, and then you can go over with a very thin layer of your favorite foundation once you do this. So look at this. So already bringing some light and hugging underneath the cheek. We're just using our fingers to marry it in, just like so. So already, look at this lift. Look at the lift and the brightness that's going on in the skin. You saw this happen right before your eyes, right? So I'm going to take a diffused brush. A diffused brush is anything with long hairs, because if it was a short bristled brush, it's going to move the product around too much. So I'm using the lightest touch. I mean, I am barely touching my skin. You want to, now that your fingers married it into your skin, you want to lightly just smooth it out, just like so. And if you're a minimalist, or you're like, say you're taking off to the gym, running a couple errands, and you don't want to wear more makeup, you could stop right here, right here. And this is the power of a corrector. So now I'm going to go over with foundation and kind of even this all out. So here we go. So what is it that I want to do? I don't need a lot. I don't need a lot. So I'm going to take my favorite foundation. It's a pro grade foundation. I'm feeling a little drab, so I'm going to take some color out. Not a lot. And I'm going to put that on the back of my hand, okay? And let me just get a little bit more. I feel like I need a little bit more than that. There we go. Just like this. And then I'm going to take my favorite face oil. I feel like the older you are, the more moisture you should have. You should have glowing skin, not glitter skin, but glowing skin. So I'm going to use a face oil. It's loaded with antioxidants. It stimulates your the blood in your face. And this one has Pomarosa and sunflower. Again, I'm into natural products. I like to feed my skin food and its condition while I'm wearing makeup rather than harming myself and putting chemicals on my face. So I don't believe in putting chemicals on my face. Okay, so here we rubbed a little of your favorite face oil into that. I'm going to take my diffuser brush because, again, longer hairs means softer finish. Just tapped a little bit from the back of my hand. And now I'm going to stipple. I'm going to stipple, and I want you just to watch the glow. Watch the magic. Remember, you don't want to move around what you did underneath, and you don't need a lot because you did all the correcting with the right things. So I'm just stippling it, just like so. We got that nice sheen in the skin. And I mean, if you're into a matte finish, then you would finish with translucent setting powder to give yourself that more mattified finish. But I feel like if you're dealing with wrinkles, if you're dealing with dryness, I feel like that brings attention to wrinkles. So I believe in having like a sheen to the skin, a healthy glow. You know that look you get when you're working out at the gym and you're all done and you got that flushed face, like that glow? It's all you're faking. You're not faking. You're giving yourself the glow. And there you have it. Now we have a beautiful complexion. The pimple is camouflaged. I mean, you can even go in with your little concealer brush, take some of that zero, take some of your foundation, and just kind of give it a little bit more TLC, just like so. Because again, you're just camouflaging color. You're not able to take away the zit. And man, I gotta wax my eyebrows, but that's another video. All right, there we go. So now here you go. You got this beautiful glowing complexion. You learned the difference of correctors and less is more and how to embrace your age. You don't need plastic surgery and expensive products and treatments. Stay away from the $100 skincare moisturizer, this and that. You just need good product, like pro product, and proper placement. Because makeup is all about an emotion, right? You want to transform yourself into a better version of what you're seeing in the mirror. That's why we go shopping. That's why we buy makeup to begin with, because we want to see a transformation. So if you have all the right stuff and you're not applying it the right way, then it's not going to be worth it, right? So this is the proper way to even out those imperfections in your skin. I really hope you learned something from this. If you found value, please share this video to other women that you know are struggling with wrinkles or dryness or need some color correcting in their skin. And if you need to get color matched for your skin type, shoot me a message, a direct message down below, and or in a private message, and I would love to professionally color match you to get you feeling the best version of yourself. I'm Candice Bertolini, and I'm your makeup fix. Thanks for watching.